Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Tom Bryant. My office address is 12100 Single Tree Lane in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. I am the Executive Director and Legal Counsel for the National Association of Tobacco Outlets. That is a national retail trade association of 50,000 member stores nationwide, including stores here in Edina. On March 13th, I sent an email to the City Council members asking time to make a presentation on the age 21 issue in response to the presentation made by the Edina Community Health Commission at the March 7th City Council meeting. To date, we have not been afforded that opportunity, neither the retailers nor myself, even though under the guiding principles of the city on your website states that the council will make itself available to all parties on an equal basis. We are not being treated equally. Also, according to the March 7th City Council meeting minutes, the Health Commission assured the City Council members that it would conduct outreach to retailers on this issue if the issue moved forward. According to our information, none of the retailers have been contacted for any outreach by the Health Commission. In addition, the March 10th notice of the public hearing sent out by city staff is vague. It did not state the specific subject matter of this ordinance as required by state law. Some of our retailers didn't even receive the notice. We had to contact and tell them about that. So based on that fact alone, because state law was not followed, this matter should be postponed for appropriate notice. In short, we believe there's been a lack of due process here afforded the retailers, and I reiterate our request for time to make a presentation to the council and create a dialogue with city staff. The underlying purpose of the ordinance is to reduce youth access and use of tobacco. Retailers support that goal. In fact, according to retail compliance check data provided by the Minnesota Department of Human Services, Edina retailers had a 100% compliance rate in compliance checks not selling to youth for the past 2 years, 2015 and 2016. I'll provide you with that data here when I'm finished. Your local retailers are not the problem. The real problem was found in a study conducted by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. They found the vast majority of the youth use social sources to obtain tobacco. That is older age friends, siblings, parents, and even strangers. Raising the legal age does not solve entirely the social sources problem, because anyone 21 and older can still legally obtain tobacco and then provide it to those under 21. Also, the Minnesota Student Survey reports that smoking among ninth graders has been reduced from 19.6% in 2001 to 4.3% in 2016, an 80% reduction. Similarly, there's a 75% reduction amongst 11th graders, all done without going to age 18. We believe adults who are 18, 19, and 20 have the right to purchase legal tobacco products and make that decision for themselves. We would hope you feel the same and allow us to make the presentation and postpone formal action on this ordinance. I have my testimony and the compliance check data and the FDA study data that I'll leave with the clerk for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant.
Now I think it's good morning. Mr. Mayor, City Council members, my name is Mark Olson. I own and operate the BP station located at 5209 Vernon Avenue. I have owned this operation for the past 10 years, and during that time, we've always passed tobacco compliance checks and trained my store clerks and will take responsibility of selling tobacco products very seriously. We are simply not the source of tobacco for underage youth here in Edina. Other speakers have said it's adults that act as a social source for the youth here in Edina, and minors will be resourceful in ways to continue to obtain tobacco from the people who are 21 and older. This ordinance will not solve the social sources problem and will only penalize my store, even though we have always complied with the law. My store will lose an important amount of business from the 18, 19, and 20-year-old customers. We can't make that lost business up by selling just bananas. These young adult consumers are very mobile, and they simply will drive a couple of miles to Richfield, Bloomington, South Minneapolis, St. Louis Park, or Minnetonka to buy their tobacco, gas, snacks, and other beverages. And to make matters worse, they will likely patronize other kinds of stores in these surrounding cities to the detriment of the Edina's other retailers. So the economic fallout will not be limited to just convenience stores and gas stations in Edina. This ordinance will make Edina an island, and law-abiding retailers will be penalized even though they have done nothing wrong. If you want to support raising the legal age, then it would be better to do so by talking to Edina state lawmakers to take up the issue at the state level. As our local elected officials, you need to take care about the small businesses here in Edina. But given what has transpired in this ordinance and the lack of outreach to retailers, I question how much you really care. And by the way, this letter was dated on the 10th, and I got it last Monday in the mail. So just so you know, for my notification. This is not right, and I urge you to postpone any further decision about raising the legal age until the city staff and health commissioner and retailers can all sit down together and talk about how to solve the problem for underage youth obtaining tobacco. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Olson. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. My name is Steve Rush, and I'm the Director of Government Relations for Holiday Companies, a family-owned Bloomington-based Minnesota business. Our corporate headquarters is at 4567 American Boulevard West in Bloomington, Minnesota. We have one convenience store here in Edina on Interlochen. Holiday never received a copy of the notice of public hearing of March 10. We never did. Also, as I understand it, the proposed ordinance was not published on the city's website until April 17, which was yesterday. I barely had time to read it, and I'm disappointed that an ordinance being voted on this evening was only published for retailers to review the day before. I also see very serious potential compliance problems with this ordinance at Edina being at age 21 and the rest of the state being at age 18. Whenever anyone wants to buy tobacco products from Holiday, we request their ID if they appear to be 40 or under. We then swipe the magnetic stripe of the identification on the cash register to determine if the person is of legal age. However, all of our software in Minnesota is coded to verify age 18, not 21. I've asked my information technology department if one store in Edina could be recoded to require verification at age 21. As of this time, I've not received an answer as they are still doing testing. Certainly, if we'd been given notice as we were supposed to, we could have worked through these problems with the Health Commission. We will now have to provide individualized training for just one store out of the 300 that we have in Minnesota. Even with training, mistakes are going to be made. I can easily see a person of age 18 to 20 coming into the store to attempt to buy tobacco products. When the POS system, if we're able to get it recoded in time, declines the sale, we will likely have an annoyed customer who does not know you have to be age 21 to buy cigarettes in Edina. We could very easily have employees forget the age 21 requirement and the age 21 signage. A sales associate may manually calculate the age of the customer and make the sale anyway and be in violation of the law. When an employee is transferred from another city due to a staff shortage, that individual probably won't be told that the legal age is age 21 in Edina. They could easily violate the ordinance due to ignorance. We normally terminate employees who sell an age-restricted product to a minor, and it would be a shame for them to lose their job. This ordinance becomes effective upon adoption. There's certainly some practical problems here that still need to be worked out if you wish to pass this. Therefore, I strongly urge you to table this ordinance until the appropriate dialogue can be had. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rush.